Hello and welcome to another AutoCAD tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the program here. I'm going to open up the cabinets that I was working on in the last tutorial video. So here's the cabinets. We've learned a bunch of tools. Drawing is basically done, except now I need to put some dimensions on here, so show some of the measurements. Fairly easy process, so this video should be fairly short. I'll also show how to save here. But in order to put the dimensions down, I'm going to move over here to annotate. And these are where you can mark up the drawing. So you can put text boxes, little leader lines to point out details. You can measure things, and then you can actually create dimensions. Dimensions in AutoCAD have always been a little iffy, and that continues in AutoCAD Mobile here. And it's mostly for having the size be correct and for you to be actually able to read the text. But I will show ways that you can kind of fix that a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, going to click Dimension. And I'm going to start measuring parts of these cabinets here. It works much the same way as object snaps. So if I just click on a corner, or hover over a corner, you get an object snap. I'm going to click once. I'm going to measure the entire width here. So I'm going to, again, go over to the other corner here, click again. Then it allows me to drag up the dimension. Now, it's really hard to read. I know that's the problem with dimensions in AutoCAD, but it just allows me to place it somewhere on my page. So I'm going to click, and there's my first dimension. So as you can see in this drawing, it's very, very difficult to read. Okay, that's something that we're going to have to fix here in a sec. Okay, and I'm just going to press Escape to stop the tool here. Okay, but in order to have this show in feet and inches for starters, because it's showing in decimals, and also be able to read it, I want to go ahead, hover over it, click on it once, and then I'm going to move over here to this tab, and I'm going to click on Properties. So I'm going to click there. Now, Mobile has a bunch of presets that you can use, and they're found in dim style. That's actually the text you would use in the program if we were using it at the computer lab at school. But I'm going to go ahead and click it. And here are a bunch of scales. So you have kind of these presets that you can use. Now, because they're preset, they don't always fit the best or how you would want them to. But I'm going to go select Architecture 3. And that changes the display, so it's no longer decimals, it's showing feet and inches, but it also makes it bigger. The extension lines, the lines that are on here can now be seen where it's measuring to from there to there, etc. It's now visible. Okay, so that's really the biggest thing you have to do when applying dimensions. Now, unfortunately, you do have to do that for all of them. However, I am going to try another command. It might get around that, and that's called it's found over here in Modify, and it's called Match Properties. So I think what I can do is apply a bunch of other dimensions and then just match their properties to the one that I have changed. Okay. But anyway, back to dimensioning. So back to this number, or this little icon. Now I'm going to click the height. This one, toss it in. So you can see that it's displayed differently. It's smaller, of course. And yeah, we'll have to fix that later. Now, when I go to do the next one, I'm going to measure just the width of this cabinet along here. You have to be careful because you can actually select, or sometimes you can select, the edge point of the dimension. Just make sure you're clicking on the actual point of the object that you're selecting. Click, drag out. So now I'm going to go ahead and give that Match Properties tool a try here. So I'm going to click Modify, Match Properties, select Source Object. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select this as my source object. Destination, oh yeah, you can go ahead and just click like that. Very, very easy way to fix it. Okay, So anyway, so there's our solution to the first problem. Now, we've created another one here though, because the text is now inside our cabinet. We don't want that. If you click on the dimension, you get those blue handles showing up, just like if you had created any sort of geometry. And you can actually just drag some of these things right around, reposition them wherever you want, just so they're not cutting into the object itself. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to toss some other dimensions in here real quick. So again, click the annotate, click dimension, click the first point to measure from, second point to measure from, drag down, click. I'm going to repeat that real quick. So there's all those dimensions. Now I have to match the properties again to get these ones, which are displayed in decimals and are too small to read, just to fix that. So I'm going to go ahead, modify, match properties. Click the one that is working, is legible, is correct. Click it once. Then I can actually just hover over it and it'll show me what it'll change it to. And I'm going to click all those dimensions that I just added. Press escape to stop that command. I'm going to go ahead, click on some of these dimensions, fix, just kind of drag it down a little bit further, okay, because again, it's cutting into our object, overlapping. I just want to make this as easy to read as possible, really. Okay, so we have the dimensions, we have the kind of individual dimensions of these. In terms of their heights and their widths, we have the height there. That would be assumed to be the height here. These are the same height. So really, you would have enough information. You have to do maybe a little bit of math to figure this out, but it's the size of one of these doors, but it's very easy to do. You just take that dimension and you'd split it in half. So at this point, this drawing would be pretty much done. Now I would probably put it in a title block, but we'll get to that later. Okay. So saving this. Obviously, you go up here, you click save, and we're good to go. Okay. Now, the problem with doing that is that some of these documents are kind of difficult to retrieve and to be able to, for example, hand into me. Okay, so in order to send a drawing to me that you have completed, the easiest way to do it is to go up here and click plot to PDF. That's just going to take our drawing, it's going to create a PDF, very easy document format, and that's what you could attach to any of the assignments, such as the floor plan assignment, or really anything going forward. Okay. So landscape, we're good to go here. Plot style, these are just essentially presets. We're just going to go ahead and use the monochrome one. We're going to scale to fit, so it's going to size our drawing for us. I'm going to click plot to PDF. Again, it's just generating it right now, and then you go ahead and you click right here, download PDF. That is opening it here on my screen. Let's open it right here, and there you go. There's our drawing. It's plotted, it's scaled. Yeah, and we're good to go. So again, the tools that we used in there, just to go back here, that's the dimension tool. It's found right here. Okay. We also ended up using the match properties tool to fix these. Remember to use the properties tab over here, because that first one that you have to change manually, you'll have to go into properties, click on a dimension, click the dim style, change that architecture 3, and then you can match the properties of all the others from there. So that's it for this one. My next video, probably get into some floor plan stuff, and then moving forward, we'll get into using some of the other draw commands here, such as what's called polyline. Okay? And yeah, we'll start creating some stuff that we might even start using my CNC. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned going forwards, and again, keep checking that Google Classroom. And I'll see you in the next video.